Those are the wrestlers I've worked on. I'm trying to think, and of course all the people I know personally on the independent level in my territory, Nevada, California, I've worked with, and that's been great too. As far as any wrestling name who wants to work with me, I'll take them. I'll find some way to put them in, obviously. As far as YouTube personalities I'd love to work with, I'd love the chance to work with, James Rolfe or Doug Walker, or Spoonie, someone like that, or Brad Jones. These are guys whose work I really admire and I'd like to work with. And I was very fortunate to work with Famous earlier this year on that level. So I'd like to work with some more people like that. I think that'd be really fun. But yeah, getting to work with people like Cornette and Jim Mitchell and Tyrus, to me, that it really validates my work, because not everybody gets to do that. Not everybody on YouTube gets to work on that level with wrestlers and stuff. People can interview wrestlers and wrestling personalities. I see that a lot. That's another one of those things. It's like, it's easy to get an interview with somebody, but to get them involved in a sketch or something where they get to play a kind of strange version of their usual selves, that to me is, I take great pleasure in doing that. It's just kind of a great way to, make my show different than everyone else's, basically.
Definitely. Well, to get into a more serious topic, we know that WrestleMania is just around the corner, and I actually asked Susie Kennedy from WhatCulture.com this question earlier this week, and I want to ask you the same question. They're really shaping it up to make it seem like NXT TakeOver Dallas is probably going to be a bigger, better show than WrestleMania 32. Is there any way that WrestleMania 32 can just pull it off and maybe surpass NXT TakeOver Dallas, or is that kind of near to impossible at this point?
Short of them calling it a bomb threat the day of TakeOver, I don't really know how TakeOver is not going to surpass WrestleMania 32. I think the way they've built the show has not been that great. In the last couple of years, they've been able to get lucky. They've been skating by on their laurels, and they've been able to make the best out of a bad situation. Like 30 for as good as 30 was in hindsight, I think the build to was terrible, and 31 was somehow even worse in terms of build up. But 32 has somehow managed to even surpass that in terms of sucky build.
Boy.
I don't know how you can get worse than a tug of war between Lesnar and Reigns over the championship belt, and that being it. But there's still 2 weeks to go before WrestleMania. Anything can happen. It's just so weird to see how they've been building. I'm going to be in Dallas for WrestleMania. Before that, I'm going to be in WrestleCon, which I'll talk about later. But we're trying to. My friend Jay Biggs and I, we're going to go hopefully to the WrestleCon Super Show, which is going to be a pretty stacked card. But I kind of wish we had gone to TakeOver. Like, man, that's a really good card. I'm more excited about just being at WrestleMania and being part of a historic crowd than I am about the show itself at this point. I don't know what they could do to do better than TakeOver. I don't know, unless some severe wish fulfillment and Dean Ambrose not only beats Brock Lesnar, but also somehow gets a championship shot the same night and wins. Don't really know what you could do. Or if Daniel Bryan magically recovers from his career-ending concussion. But, yeah, I don't know. It could be tough.
Pulls the ultimate swerve in professional wrestling. Two matches that people are kind of looking forward to is going to be the Triple H and Roman Reigns match, as well as Undertaker and Shane McMahon matches. I want to get your thoughts on both of those. Start with Roman and Triple H. There are some people that actually would prefer that Triple H retains the championship over Roman Reigns because of the simple fact that they don't think either Roman Reigns is ready, or they think he's getting jammed down our throats. But what are your thoughts on, who would you personally prefer to have come out of WrestleMania as the champion?
Well, let me say this. When Triple H won the title at the Rumble, I didn't mind the idea of him winning the championship because there was no one else available because everyone's hurt, and it made the most sense because there was the anti-authority storyline going on with Reigns. But my biggest concern, my biggest issue with the way they've been telling the story is that they have not been doing any kind of job of telling the story that Triple H is a corrupt authority figure who's abusing his power. And that should be the first thing they should always talk about, but they have not ever touched on it. and they just treat him like a regular wrestler, which is not what he is. He is, he's a demigod, basically, in WWE, but he's also a suit. So how come you're not playing the fact that he is basically abusing his power to keep the championship away from Roman Reigns? It makes no sense, and they're booking him like a face, which is crazy. So no duh, they're gonna cheer Triple H over Roman Reigns. It's just mind-boggling. As far as who I think should win, I do think it should be Roman Reigns because I just wanted to get it over with already. I mean, God, they wanted to do this at WrestleMania 31, and they couldn't go through with it. But they've had a year to build Roman Reigns up and make a championship victory convincing, and they screwed that up. So why they just wasted a year of our lives trying to build Roman Reigns up as a star? If that was going to happen, they might as well just pull the trigger last year and let us get it over with. And so I think it really should go to Roman Reigns. As much as people are going to hate it, I think it's like they just got to do it. They got to get over it. Or if he doesn't win, then they might as well just shoot him in the head in the middle of the ring and just get rid of him because they've worked so hard to make him the guy. They might as well put the title on him and see where it goes. I think, basically, if Roman Reigns wins clean against Triple H and nothing else happens, like if it's a WrestleMania 25 level of bland for the main event, then I think people are going to really be upset. The only way they could salvage it, I think, is not the next night on Raw, but the same night, Roman Reigns needs to turn heel. And he needs to turn heel on Dean Ambrose. So I'm thinking maybe Lesnar, or Ambrose beats Lesnar in the whole Spartan match, and he comes out to celebrate with Roman Reigns afterward. Roman Reigns, maybe even helps Roman Reigns win the title, and then they celebrate in the ring. Roman Reigns clocks Ambrose and beats him up and turns heel. That way, they have their cake and eat it too. Roman Reigns gets to end WrestleMania with the championship. The fans get to boo Roman Reigns, and it will at least align with the script at this point. And they'll have a white-hot babyface in Dean Ambrose with a ready-made storyline. Like, that's all you got to do. If they wait till Raw to do it, I think it's going to make it tougher to swallow. But I think that's what has to happen at WrestleMania in order for it to, all work out.
I think that's a very good analogy, and I definitely agree with that. Now going from something that's can sort of be fixed to something that really is a bit of a mess in and of itself, and that being the Hell in the Cell match between Taker and Shane McMahon, which apparently this past week they're putting the situation of this being possibly Taker's last match if he loses. Now, a lot of people have been saying, that's a dead giveaway to The Undertaker winning right away, but people need to remember that in the past, we've had retirement matches like, Ultimate Warrior Randy Savage, Flair and Shawn Michaels, where they've put the retirement stipulation in, but it never really lasts that much. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on the Shane McMahon Undertaker deal?
Well, when it was first announced, there were a lot of question marks surrounding it, and from then on, I've never really been 100% behind it for a lot of reasons. The fact that Shane is not a full-time guy, he's coming back after so many years gone in the company. I'm not saying he can't do a crazy spot here and there, because he's going to have to, because there's the expectation. But when you consider how many other younger guys could have benefited from a match with Taker, and I've never been one of the people Taker should lose to an up-and-comer. I've never been one of those people. But I think in this case, it wouldn't kill him to put Kevin Owens or Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose up against The Undertaker, and that would have been a fine match. It wouldn't have hurt him if they did that. And every week that has gone by, the initial pop of Shane coming back was great, but every week that has passed has been, the luster has worn off more and more every week. And, it's the fact that they're throwing all these stipulations in, like the whole Undertaker's last WrestleMania, everyone knows retirements don't mean anything really, unless, except for some extreme cases. But I just, the fact that they're saying this might go on last, I don't know how I feel about that. Because, first of all, I always think championship matches should go on last, unless there's some extreme circumstance. Maybe it's going to be 26, where Michael's retired at the end, and maybe Undertaker will retire at the end. I don't know. But I just, the more this goes on, the less interested I am in this match. The fact that they have never, to this point, given Undertaker any kind of rationale as to why he's doing this match. Like, why is he being put up for this, and why is he not fighting it? It just, the way they've been going about booking this match makes no sense. I don't care who wins. I don't want to try and pick who wins. I just know no matter who wins, people will be pissed either way. So that's my take on it.
Good point. I can't think of any reason to disagree with that. Well, guys, I did promise Mr. Brian Zane to give him the floor to promote anything that he has coming up. So, Brian, the floor is all yours. So feel free to put anything that you have coming up, and no interruptions.
Well, thank you so much. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
But yeah, as far as, Wrestling with Regret on YouTube, there's a W in front of the regret for alliterative purposes. I try and get new episodes up every Tuesday and Thursday, although I'm guessing after WrestleMania it's going to slow down a bit. I will be in Dallas for WrestleMania weekend. The Friday and Saturday before WrestleMania is WrestleCon at the Hyatt Regency in downtown Dallas, Texas. I'm going to have special guests at my table each day. Friday, I'm going to have Sabu and the Super Genie, Melissa Coates. Saturday, I'll be having Lucha Underground star Brian Cage. You might have just seen him at Aztec Warfare 2. And yeah, that's going to be a good old time. I'm going to be signing autographs, selling Wrestling with Regret t-shirts, and giving out swag. And at WrestleCon, there's going to be like dozens, if not hundreds, of other huge wrestling stars who are going to be there. There's going to be a super show on Saturday. And there's just lots of cool things to do at WrestleCon. It's just the indie version of Access, is what I can tell you. And then if you run into me at WrestleMania, that's cool too. But yeah, you can find me on Facebook as well, Wrestling with Regret. You can find me on Twitter at @DmanBrianZane, and you can buy my T-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com/Wrestling with Regret. And I just want to thank everyone for supporting me the last few years. It's surpassed 100,000 subscribers a couple weeks ago, and it's still climbing. So, really happy to be on this ride.
Well, thank you so much, Brian, for taking some time to be on the show. I definitely appreciate it. You're a big time, wrestling fan, and I am a big time fan of yours, so thank you so much. It means a lot that you came on this show. Guys, this is going to wrap it up for Pro Talk Wrestling here with the one and only Brian Zane. Thank you so much. Tune in Saturday for another show, and we will see you on that day. So, see you guys.